Yo, what's going on? It's Jay.
This is B.
This is Lit Logic, episode 14. Got my mans here today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Chris Carruthers, close friend of Javon's, personal trainer, and avid basketball fan, Bulls fan, Jordan fan.
Yeah, y'all
All
already
that.
know. So, personal trainer. So, if y'all want to get right,
At J. Chris Cara.
there you go. That's the man you need to holler at.
Yes, sir.
So, today's episode, we're going to be going over the Last Dance documentary.
Yes, sir.
It was a very great documentary. It kind of blew my expectations on what it was going to be. So,
Well, it gave you an inside look on a lot of questions people wanted to know, like, why did this happen to make this happen? Because one of the biggest questions people ask, why did he retire the first time? You know, why Scotty signed that stupid contract? Why was Dennis so nutty? You know, what was Phil Jackson's deal? They wanted to know everything.
Yeah.
They wanted to know the man behind Michael Jordan. They wanted to know. So this gave them an input and a look on the everyday life of the Chicago Bulls, and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah,
definitely was amazing. You know, people got my favorite sevens on.
Yep.
For me,
The
Barcelona Knights sevens.
You already know I got the official Bull shorts.
You know, I got the Bulls vintage joint on jersey on right now.
None of this was planned, by the way.
Yeah.
This just happened, you know, miraculously. But all right, so let's get into it. So, you know, the first few episodes they talked about, you know, where he grew up at, and you know what got him into basketball and stuff like that. So, you know, being, you know, in a household with that many kids, you know, I can relate to that because, you know, I have 4 other siblings. So it was a lot, you know, trying to balance everything out with family, you know, and everything like that. So sports, just, with Mike seemed to be like a real big thing. And they talked about in the documentary how, you know, he wanted to, you know, fight for his like father's like attention, like his older brother was like
his older brother was better than him.
That sibling rivalry.
It's crazy. His older brother was a whole foot shorter than him,
right?
But he was better than him. Which his brother's name is Larry Jordan, and he was better than Mike. So that determination made Mike the person he was.
Larry was a beast, man.
Yeah.
And finding out that his dad kind of would play on that to push Mike to get to another level. And then, you know, over years it kind of became something he always kind of went after for that attention and just that feeling like he needed to prove himself, that chip on his shoulder, you know.
And another way, Mike did the same thing his dad did with him to his teammates. He just found that little niche to push until he got what he needed, which is perfection out of you. Because, you know, he's a perfectionist. You know, he's a man that's...
To a fault. Like he's a perfectionist to a fault, man. You know, just knowing, you know, that about Mike, just knowing that he didn't make his varsity team the first time. I think he got cut. I don't know if it was sophomore year.
Freshman year, sophomore year, he didn't make the team at all.
Right.
He didn't play till his junior year,
which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Scholarship at North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's the next
thing. Work ethic, man.
That's the next thing I want to touch on, his years at North Carolina, because, you know, he played with James Worthy. And
that was crazy.
Yeah, which is another crazy thing.
He played with one more person. He
might have played with somebody else.
Kenny, was it Kenny? No, Kenny Smith?
I don't think. Kenny's a little...
Kenny's a little younger, so I'm not sure.
Well, you got to think, when did Michael leave North Carolina?
84. That's the year he got drafted.
Right.
Okay. I think Kenny, I don't know, maybe he was on the team. But
I remember James Worthy saying that he was better. Remember he was like, what was it, freshman year?
Yeah, he was better than
him. He said he was like, I was better than him for about a week. That's what he said. Freshman year, he said he was better than him for about a week. And I'm not sure what James Worthy, what year he was, but either way, he was James Worthy. So he was
a second year, I think. I think Worthy got drafted in '82.
Yeah, he was already a draft pick by sophomore
he was
year.
already someone that was
One
prospected
of the
there.
things that motivated Michael that year too was they did a Sports Illustration issue of North Carolina, and they left him off the cover because he was a freshman. Because the coach thought he was a freshman, he shouldn't be on the cover with these upperclassmen. Yeah, and Mike was the same person that hit the big shot for them to win the game.
Ironically, and he became. He said he became Michael Jordan after that shot. Yeah. So it kind of came full circle, I guess.
Tongue out and everything. Like, that's him.
That goes to, after that game where, I forget what the coach or somebody was saying that he was the best player he had ever.
Bob Knight said that.
Yeah. He was like, he's the best player I've ever seen.
Before he even played NBA ball.
Before he even was even an NBA player.
He knew he was a walking bucket.
Yeah. He knew the writing on the wall that a lot of people didn't know because, to sit there and make that type of statement.
And and for y'all don't know Bobby Knight is the coach that throws chairs in the middle of the floor at referees.
Yes, Indiana University.
Hoosiers.
I believe one national championship at least. So he knows, he's crazy, but he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he'll kill you, but he knows
what he's talking about. He might WWE you, but
he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. He knows his basketball.
Speaking about chairs, what's up, Mom? What's up with Dennis?
During the final. Oh man.
Who takes a vacation? Like they gave him a 48-hour vacation. For y'all out there that did not watch the series, which I recommend for you to watch the series.
Episode 3.
Yes, episode 3. They talk about Dennis when Scottie Pippen went down. Scottie was in a contract, dispute with the Bulls, and Scottie decided instead of having the surgery during the summer, Scottie quoted, "I'm not going to F my summer up. I'm going to have the surgery during the season." So Scottie sat out the majority of the season, and that means Dennis had to play a bigger role. And Mike said that drove Dennis crazy because Dennis is a wild, guy, so he had to be tamed, and Dennis didn't like it, but he had to do it. And when Scottie came back, Dennis said, "I need a vacation." And Mike was like, "Let him go. You're never going to get him back."
Right.
And they didn't.
And they didn't get him back.
Mike had to go down there. What was it, Vegas?
Knock on his door.
Yeah, and get him out of
My
there.
man said, "I ain't going to tell you what was in his bed, what was there,
who was in there."
Farmer Electra was in his bed.
Yeah, I don't know what they. Mike probably seen cocaine dildos everywhere.
Yes. He saw some wild shit.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that.
All right, so when Mike first got drafted back in '84, the Bulls was a horrible team,
shit team,
shit team. But it was the same thing when they first got there. Like after they first practice, Cats were saying, "This is the best guy on our team. This is with guys that have been in the league. These are veterans on this team and stuff like that." And
it's bad. But freaking Charles Oakley is the second best player on your team.
Facts.
And Charles Oakley don't score.
Right. He didn't even really shoot.
He's not a scorer. He's there for rebounds and blocks and toughness. Like that's bad when he's the second best player. And that's taking no shots at Charles Oakley because Charles Oakley is a good player for what he is.
Right. I think it speaks to how prepared he was going into the league. And what was interesting was that he didn't even want to go, but his coach was straight up like, "You should go. You're ready."
It's time.
He was really ready last year, but we wanted to give you another year, so we can have another chance at the title.
Your associates.
Right. So he gets to that rookie season, and then spazzes on everyone.
Monster.
And the team was still ass, but
so he only do but so much.
Right.
But that year, it's like first couple of years, who was the coach? Was it Doug Collins? Yeah, then a few couple of years, Doug Collins was the coach.
I don't think he was the coach when he first got.
No, not when he first.
Because when he made that shot with Cleveland, it was a different coach.
Yeah, right? It was a different coach. Then they hired Doug.
You're right.
But when Doug Collins was Michael Jordan's coach, them years, Mike was a slam dunk champion. What was he? The MVP of the All-Star game, and he was MVP of the league.
And defensive player.
And defensive player.
Yep.
They
still didn't win a championship till Scottie came.
Yeah.
And then in comes Scottie and Phil Jackson.
Yes.
Phil Jackson was an assistant coach Well, no, he was assistant coach. He was
brought in from Jerry Krause.
Yeah.
He was actually coaching for some Puerto Rican team
way
down in Puerto Rico prior to that. So, but yeah, like his first few years, he was just like terrorizing the league. And this for like when they played the Celtics, that first series and stuff, and he dropped what, like 60? No, he dropped 50 something.
40. It was 45 the first game or something, or 49, 45 I think it was, and then the second game.
He sit there and dropped 63, and then Larry Bird was like, "That wasn't Michael Jordan. That was God disguised as Michael Jordan."
I feel like that's so crazy when you think about it now. Like who coming out of college, going into her first year would be referenced to God? That was God in Michael Jordan form, essentially. Nobody.
Not
that
even,
soon.
And this is coming from
a legend.
A legend.
A shit talking legend.
Not even that. Michael Jordan was special in a way because not even Kobe Bryant was doing what Michael was doing. Not when he first came in the league. Kobe Bryant was shooting air balls. But it just shows you the greatness of Michael Jordan because he was that guy that
R.I.P. to God real quick.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant.
My guy.
Absolutely, and it's like Mike just wanted to win, and I think he himself made his teammates more determined to win, not the coaches, not the him. I don't know, whatever he said to them probably was some wild shit. You don't know what the hell he said because they didn't tell that in the documentary. They told you how Mike was towards them, and he didn't say what he said.
They showed little bits and pieces, but they can't show everything.
You can't show no.
But that just shows, how much passion he had for what he loved to do.
He was willing to, push other people. You know what I mean? He was willing to be disliked.
Yeah.
He was willing to say, I'm not your friend, I'm your teammate. Almost akin to, I'm not your friend, I'm your colleague. We got to get this. Our goal is to make profit, or our goal is to get first in the region, or whatever. Our goal is not to be buddy, and it's not the most popular way to be by any means. However, I was listening to, I was watching ESPN the other day, and they were having that debate about is his leadership style too much? Could it mesh with today's people? And the argument I would then, retort back would be, look at the results.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
But you said it wouldn't match with today's people. The results, yeah. The results of what he gets out of people, but today's basketball, I don't think it'll go.
You gotta see.
The guys are too sensitive.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, you gotta have a certain type of mental toughness to deal with that type of stuff. And that was something that Jimmy Butler was being ridiculed for trying to elevate his teammates.
Because he wants to win.
That same type of thing. It was causing problems because people were sensitive and couldn't really take, how he was dishing out his energy.
But look at the famous saying, everybody loves the Lakers, right? Everybody loves Kobe Bryant. Nobody wants to play with Kobe Bryant because of that Mamba mentality. Same thing with Mike. Everybody loved Michael Jordan around the league. You didn't love to play against him. You didn't love to guard him if he's dropping 50 on you.
Right.
But you respect his game and you loved him, but you didn't want to go play for him because you knew the expectations that he wanted. And as a player, every NBA player should know themselves as a player. And a lot of NBA players knew they couldn't match what Mike wanted them to do.
Right.
So why do you think a lot of players didn't come to the Bulls? Like, I think one player they acquired to come to Bulls was Ron Harper. Like, you didn't hear no other players like Charles Barkley wanting to come to the Bulls and all those other.
Back then, cats didn't really do that.
Well, no, I'm just saying back in the day it wasn't, but I'm just saying if it was, those guys couldn't come to the Bulls. They couldn't because of what Mike wanted out of you. Like Patrick Ewing missing that open ass layup against the Pacers. If he was on the Bulls, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, man, but I can't necessarily agree to a certain extent because they played together in the Olympics.
That's different.
So even though they was playing against competition that was probably subpar,
he was still busting their ass.
Well, yeah, but like as a whole, like I think if you're one of those great players, you don't really got to do too much or expect too much out of them as far as like in that situation.
Well, yeah, well, I'm talking
when it's regular guys
Right.
that's used to doing regular shit and you got to try to elevate them to be more than what they are, it's a little bit more of a difficult challenge. Because even in today's NBA, like some guys are just strictly there just to get paid.
Right, and they're not mentally tough. And
like Alan Payne.
Right, and you can't. The game has changed so much. When you're comparing the physicality, when you're comparing, what you were able to get away with, what a technical foul is now versus what a technical foul was back then.
They was fighting.
They was jumping on niggas' back.
They was fighting, and then they wasn't throwing nobody out. They was like, "Y'all done?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to
Matter of
basketball."
fact, couldn't you could get away with at least 1 or 2 punches, and you might get a tech. You're not gonna get thrown out.
Dennis Rodman, when he was with the Bad Boys, he was punching on somebody from the Celtics, had him hemmed up, and was uppercutting him. Dude still played the whole game.
Yep.
Nowadays, you elbow a dude the wrong way, it's flagrant 1.
Fine and possible suspension.
Yeah. You can't even say fuck after missing a free throw. Flagrant 1. It's like technical. What?
And there's no. I mean, and that's the other thing. The fact that Mike was able to, average for his career. I think it was 30. I think it was 35 point something, 35 plus.
Yeah.
36 maybe even.
Well, no.
With
one season he did 37. He's averaged 37.
In multiple different offenses, didn't matter. Triangle, no triangle.
Quick question.
Boy was a bucket.
Quick question. Without the triangle, do you think they would be as successful as they were?
No, I think they needed Phil. Phil is a Houdini, man, and he's clearly someone. He had a very unique background, with his mom being a social worker, and then how he was raised and stuff.
He was a hippie.
And he had the whole hippie vibe.
Took acid.
But he had that ability. So from learning how to get people to accept roles and helping other people accept people.
Yeah.
He had like that kind of vibe to him. So that's why Dennis, and even when you heard Dennis talk about the documentary, he was always speaking very endearingly of Phil Jackson, because he was like, he let me be. He was essentially low-key saying like, he knew I was crazy and let me be myself. Well, be myself in terms of like, if I need to go, he's like, everybody gotta do this, I gotta do that. You do this, I gotta do that. He let me do that.
Basically, read between the lines, he let me do drugs, but never piss test me, because he knew that's what I needed. Like,
and he did his job.
Yeah, because whatever Dennis did off the court never affected what he did.
No, because he'd come there and get 18 rebounds after missing 2 days of practice.
Right, and it wasn't. These weren't like okay performances. These were elite performances.
Like, you have to be. I was talking to Jay about this a couple days ago. You have to, what kind of mindset you have to know that this is a man that went to a college scoring 25 points a game with 15 rebounds. Now he's a pro. He can still score, but you know what type of mindset you have to be like, you know what? I don't want to score. I just want to grab rebounds and play defense and jump in the crowds, hurt myself, like you said, break a nose, but it's for the team. But that's an unselfish player. But not a lot of players was ever going to take that role.
Nope.
You couldn't get a Charles Barkley to come on there and be like, hey, Charles, look, we know. And Charles, in that time, averaging 20-something, almost 30 points a game. Hey, Charles, we don't need you to score. We just need you to grab a rebound. Charles is not doing that.
No, he was a scorer. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He's not doing that.
Right.
He's not doing that because he ain't need to do it.
But Dennis, he decided, I guess, early on he was going to be a specialist. But he became the specialist.
Yeah.
What was it, 5 years straight? Rebounding titles at 6'9".
Yeah.
In a league of 7-footers and 6'11s and
because just look how
big centers.
Yeah,
look how he
Patrick going against Patrick Ewing,
Shaquille O'Neal,
James Worthy,
what's his name? The tall dude from Dallas, the tall skinny white dude.
I know you're talking about
Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
That was on Space Jam.
Space Jam,
yeah.
Space Jam.
What was he, 7'3" or 7"?
Yeah,
taller than
something like that.
Something
but,
like that.
Just how he described rebound, like he would watch my shoot, watch how many rotations the ball would go for, so he can determine what direction it was going to come off of, like Like that type of attention.
You gotta have the different kind of mindset.
Like I said, different kind of mindset.
To know that when Larry shoots, it spins. When Magic shoots, it's never gonna spin. It's a flat shot. Like Mike shoots here, it's coming right here.
Right.
Like, you have to psychologically be in to knowing that this is what I'm gonna do. If I score, I score. If I don't, I have to average 15 plus rebounds to make myself feel better and for my team to win. Right. So that's what he did every day.
Yeah, and he was a student too. I mean, they showed that video of him watching videos saying like he knew every player's tendency on top of knowing the rotation on their shots. Right. So he could defend you. He knew what you like to do, how to stop it. Right. He knew all the defensive schemes.
That's what separates good players from great players.
Yes. Absolutely. The nuance, the detail, like the rotate, like that was crazy when he said that. He knew the rotations and would practice just by anticipating the rebounding.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Scottie Pippen and his contract, because that was a big part of this episode. For those that don't know, Scottie signed against the judgment of a lot of people. Signed a 7-year, $18 million contract, being the second best player on the team, and was getting the fourth greatest amount of money.
No, it was worse than that.
It was less. Dennis Rodman was getting paid more.
Dennis was, Kukoc was.
He was the last person on the list.
I don't think he was. No, he wasn't last.
He was close to last.
No, he was under.
I'm talking about the starters.
He was under Mike, of course. Dennis, Kukoc, and I think it was him after that.
No, Ron Harper got paid more than Dennis. I mean, not Dennis. Got paid more than Scott.
Well, regardless of the order, he shouldn't have signed that.
Joe Paxson got paid more than Scottie Pippen, and not knocking Joe Paxson. Joe Paxson is a phenomenal shooter. John Paxson got paid more than Scottie Pippen, which is wow.
Yeah, he signed that.
But he signed that. But he did. I know. So it's like
I see the pros and cons of it. I see both sides of it. But like I was saying,
he was on the dotted line. That's it.
But I'm saying, if you're a first round draft pick, they're not going to tell you, you know what, you want more money, get out of here. No, they got you in the first round. They got to give you the money.
They gave that contract, bro. Like, you got to realize Mike was making unheard of money at that time. Like that, the money Mike was making was unheard of.
Mike was signing 1-year deals for $30-something million.
Yeah, but that's what
in a row each year. Like,
but he was worth all that.
He was. But the reason they probably signed him to 1 year is they didn't know when he was going to retire. It was like, let's just sign you.
Especially after that first time.
Yeah, they was like, look, let me go just keep signing you to 1 year.
Which is just insane.
Yeah.
To have that type of leverage.
Man, I'm just going to keep signing 1-year deals.
I definitely. You definitely need me more than I need you, okay?
Basically. That's basically what it is.
But here's the thing, Scottie, he signed that contract, and then, he pretty much stuck after that. Yeah. And some people make the arguments that, Mike should have, tried to get him more money, this and that. That wasn't stuff that happened, shit like LeBron did for the Cavs, getting JR, paid all that money, getting...
Nah, not JR, fucking Christian bum-ass Thompson.
Tristan Thompson he got JR paid too, but that type of stuff wasn't going on back then. Plus, he signed the contract already. You're stuck in that contract for 7 years unless they trade you. They could have reconstructed it.
They could have gave him an extension if they wanted to, but they didn't because they knew, like you said, you're stuck in the contract. The thing is, you're stuck in the contract, and there's ain't really no way around it. He was doing a lot of whole shit after that.
Yeah,
Scottie did a lot of whole shit.
Yeah, this documentary made Scottie look bad.
Yeah, he did.
He made Scottie look bad.
Yeah, that was what I was like.
This first started with the Dream Team. That nigga said, Kukoc leave him to me and Scottie. First off, Kukoc bust Scottie ass the first play. He just didn't finish at the rim. But Scottie was mad at Kukoc because Jerry wanted to bring him in and was offering him money, and Scottie I need money.
Pay me first.
Yeah, now I'm gonna bust his. I'm gonna make him look bad because now you want to give him money.
There was already a rift between management, not just with Scottie but with Michael Jordan too.
Oh yeah.
So anytime Jerry Krause praised the player or wanted to go after him, they took it personal and went after those guys and
for
They
no
needed
reason.
Jerry Krause, man. They really did.
But I admire that type of mindset though.
Oh yeah,
To sit there and like, this is your guy. He's nothing to me.
Right,
Like,
right.
This your man's right
Yeah.
here.
This your
Oh,
man.
I'll show you. This
Oh,
is your
show you.
team.
I'm about
Yeah.
to kill your man's right
Right,
there.
right.
That's,
Tell him why I did it.
that's but like you were saying before, like when he decided to sit out on that play because Phil decided to call a play for Kukoc and not him. And that was after Mike had already retired. It was just them, Scotty was feeling himself a little. The ego got in the way.
Scotty knew he was about
Big
to get
time.
paid, man. Scotty knew.
That was some whole shit.
That was. I
Like,
was though.
some super whole shit. Like
And the fact you say you didn't regret it, that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Everything else I can understand. Everything, because you really can. When it's even though it's his fault to still overwork your that's like being at a job and making the company twice as much, 3 times as much, 4 times as much as you're getting paid for 7 years straight.
And they're not giving you shit.
No
and
bonuses, no
you
nothing.
see somebody else in a cubicle next to you getting a promotion.
And you doing more shit.
You
than
know
them.
more than them. You're the
You
reason
doing more
why.
than almost
You're the
everybody.
reason why your boss driving a new Lambo. It's like I did that.
Right. So you get the frustration, but
Yeah.
you also signed the contract. You were a top 5 pick. I don't know a top 5 pick that can't negotiate their contract.
Yeah,
No.
but the Bulls were kind of in a tough spot. Like they could have negotiated stuff, but to build that type of team to win championships.
Well, it was kind of like
they was
slavery.
going to cut some corners somewhere.
Well,
was kind of
they
like
took
slavery.
advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, it was
Kind of like-
slavery.
Kind of like what Golden State did with, Steph. The reason they were able to construct that team the way they were was because Steph got hurt early on to his rookie contract. So he signed his first real extension during a year where he was getting surgery on his ankle, and people didn't even know if he was going to be what they thought he was going to be.
Yeah, right.
Lo and behold, he became Steph Curry, and once his foot got right, and then next thing you know, holy shit, we have a top 3, top 2 player in the league these next couple of years under the cheapest contract, one of the cheapest contracts in the league.
Right.
They had him on it for 5 years, and it was like, yeah, I gotta check the numbers, but it was definitely between the 50 and 60 range. It was not a lot of money.
Yeah, he didn't sign his like big contract until that contract was over.
So he earned it. He earned the shit out of his latest extension.
And it was a ripple effect. It was him. Then they had to pay Clay.
But they drafted Clay.
Yeah, they drafted
So
Clay.
he was homegrown. So that was lucky.
And then
Draymond,
then they got
homegrown,
Draymond.
lucky,
Yeah, he was their dentist.
right?
Then you get
But they drafted him.
yeah,
Right.
which was smart.
So
And then you get Kevin.
Kevin was really
But Kevin just wanted to win. Kevin had money. He just wanted to win.
Right.
Like he didn't care about that.
And not to get off topic, but the last thing I'll say about that is that with Kevin going there, if you were if the championship team came to you and was like, we'd be unstoppable with you, I don't even know any man on earth who can even, other than maybe Jordan, can even conceive that type of an opportunity, let alone be able to say no to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think a lot of guys back in the '90s wanted to do stuff like that, but
But just didn't
it
want
was
to.
frowned upon.
Yeah, yep.
So it's just
It's
like
a culture thing.
some of them
I
guys.
can't even agree with that. I just think
If they had an opportunity-
the level of competition was so intense. Like a lot of those guys wanted to beat those guys. You didn't really see even when guys became free agents. Nobody really they either signed again or a lot of people didn't join up until later in their career. It was like, all right, I ain't got no championship. Let me try to get something. That's when you see Clyde Drexler going to Houston and Charles Barkley trying to go to Houston and shit like that to try to win something, to try to get something.
Yeah, but if it was acceptable, those guys would have jumped shit.
So
Not all of them, but some of them.
If they played in today's NBA, yeah, because that's the norm now. You gotta have 2 or 3 guys come together to even compete now. So, but that's neither here nor there.
But I want to get on. Let's talk about the shoes, man. Can you show the people the shoes? Let's talk about the shoes. Now, what are these? These are the
Barcelona Night 7s. So,
That episode was dope too.
Yeah.
That episode was
that
dope.
dope
Now,
episode, but-
what is y'all favorite pair of Jordans? Now, y'all can have 1, 2. What is y'all favorite pair?
I love 7s,
Okay.
but my favorite, probably all-time pair, that's tough.
That's really tough.
That's
For
tough.
me,
I'm stuck between the Space Jams.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Sixers too.
Okay.
I'm just for me, it's between the Space Jams and the Johnny Kilroys.
And Space Jams are tough too.
Those are like my top two.
Yeah, I have to say it's between the Space Jams, the gold low 11s. I got the 5s and the original ones.
Mm-hmm.
Those were
original ones.
Yeah, the OG colors though. I like those, but I just remember as a kid having not all of them. But some of those
I have
sneakers.
a lot.
Yeah.
I still have a lot now to this day.
It's amazing.
The way this shows how much of an icon Mike was.
Without social media.
Yeah, without social media. Just the
media.
way the shoes to this day are still
fucking Spike Lee in a directing and starring in your commercial,
bro.
In the 90s, that was big,
bro. Yeah, if you're
unprecedented.
If you're like what 25 or 24 and under, you didn't even really see Michael Jordan play at all. You saw no live footage of Mike, and you did not see him play live. And wouldn't you bet at least 30 to 40% of probably males have Jordans, and depending on which areas you're looking at, it's probably way higher than that demographically.
Yeah, bro. The sneaker game, what Mike did to the sneaker game was just
unreal.
And Mike didn't even want to sign with Nike. He wanted to actually
Adidas.
Adidas. Would we be wearing these shits if they was Adidas?
Yeah, hell yeah, we would.
Absolutely. I don't think they would have looked as good.
Bro, we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. It's a big what if, but I'm just saying, and the way these shits is now is ridiculous.
And he was going to sign with Converse, but they told him that they couldn't picture him being better than Larry and Magic, and that pissed him off. See, Mike, yeah. Like Mike, one of them people. He makes scenarios up in his head to be angry, to motivate him.
Yeah, but that's what he did his whole career.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Barcelona, speaking of the Nike thing. Remember when he put the flag over the Reebok sign?
Oh yeah,
because he couldn't rep another brand.
That was classic.
That was tough.
That's loyalty.
That's how you know. Mike said, "I ain't set tripping. You got me fucked up, nigga. I'm
with everything.
Absolutely."
But that's what made him so great, man. But it's crazy that the Space Jams and the Johnny Kilroys are my favorite. But my favorite type of style is the 7s.
Okay.
That's crazy. As far as my favorite number, 7s is my favorite thing.
Now, let's get into this Space Jam. Speaking of the Space Jam.
Space Jam movie.
That was one of my favorite episodes. And one of my favorite movies.
The first time I've ever seen Space Jam was in a movie theater. I was actually one of the first movies, not the first. I think it's probably the third or fourth movie I've ever seen at a movie theater. But I paid for my own ticket. I was excited to go see it. I had my bullshit on. I had everything. My uncle took me to go see it. The most amazing movie ever. I sat from the beginning to the end of the credits. I just love the movie. When it came out, I bought it. That was the first soundtrack I bought. Amazing soundtrack, by the way.
Right.
Space Jam for that culture, for us, changed everything. Who would thought an NBA player and freaking Looney Tunes could make a good movie?
Yeah, that was pretty much
it's mind blowing.
Yeah, at that time,
it's mind blowing.
With the technology back then, exactly. to pull that off,
and
it was plausible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You really could,
like a grown man taking his kid, seeing it, be like, "Yo, this is actually interesting. I actually like this movie."
The interactions, the suspense. I remember as a kid. Remember the scene where they have to go back to get his basketball shorts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're trying to win the dog.
And shit.
Yeah, I remember my heart pounding as the Daffy and
just the cool, just the
bugs we're looking for.
Even when the mob stars, when they went to the NBA games and stole the guys' talents, it was incredible. To see all the NBA players. All the guys Michael put on the poster, and they'd be like, "You know what? We're gonna be in this movie for Mike." Like Muggsy Bogues, Mike called Muggsy a fucking midget. And he's still in the movie.
Fucking midget.
Yeah, disrespectful as but he still came out to be in this movie.
Mike is disrespectful.
Told Charles Barkley he can't guard him.
You're right.
Yeah, he could guard.
I mean, that's true. But.
It is true. It is very true.
So AI said the first time he met Jordan, he was like, "What's up, you little bitch?"
AI said he just took it.
He couldn't say that though.
Mike.
Yeah, he was a bully, bro.
He was, but he was a likable bully. It was like one of them people, like it's like one of them people in school. It's like, oh my god, this guy, he about to say something, but you just like being around him.
Right. Well, and usually they're not that good. Usually bullies are bullies to compensate for the fact that they aren't as good as their bravado would. They're overcompensating.
Right.
This motherfucker, whatever you had an issue with was equally matched by his greatness.
It's like, bro, miss a shot.
Right. Remember when they were practicing and they were all trying to shoot from the hash and they all couldn't make it, and then of course
he comes in there and makes it.
Now,
put him away, MJ.
Who is your favorite player on the Bulls?
Mike.
It's definitely Mike. Yeah.
Couldn't be nobody else.
I mean, of course I like Mike, but I also like Scotty. I like Scotty
too. He started
minus the whole shit.
He started doing
minus the whole shit.
This nigga always had like some type of issue going on. Like he had the one game in the playoffs where he had a migraine, couldn't see. It's that and third. Then the back issue. I'm just like, this nigga just gonna keep having issues right in key moments.
You wanna know why he kept having issues? Because the money wasn't right. If the money was right, bro, he was playing in them games.
Shit. So, you gotta call spade a spade. Like Scotty did a lot of whole shit. Man.
What you did?
I'm sorry.
What is the one thing that y'all got out of this? Like, y'all had a better understanding about this documentary.
Mike is the fucking GOAT.
Well,
like it's like it was no question before, but it's really no question now. Like the way he would just turn up on people, like motherfuckers couldn't talk shit to Mike at all. Like it would just end badly.
Like if Mike had 0 points, don't talk shit to him.
Right.
Like this is and other teammates would be like the when Horace Grant went to the Magic and what was his name? What was it, Anderson?
BJ Armstrong.
No, the Magic.
Yeah, BJ.
No, that was Charlotte.
Yeah.
BJ Armstrong was on Charlotte.
You're talking about, but I don't know if anybody talked trash on the Magic. They lifted them up after they won.
The one dude said 45 is not like
23.
What's his name? Anderson. What's his name? I forgot.
I know what you're talking about.
It's gonna come back to me, but stuff like
not
that.
Greg Anderson.
No.
But regardless of the fact, he should have never said that shit because that turned on the switch.
Before that, Mike, that game, Mike had a shitty game.
Right.
I think Mike probably just got 15, maybe 20. Like, he had a shitty game. And when he said that, my man switched back to the 23 and blew them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like,
they still lost that series though.
Yeah, they did. But
he was back after that.
Was back. Horace was like, why would you say that?
But bro, it's his thing. Like people knew that around the league. Like there was a story. KG was telling he had just got to the league, and I forget he was cooking Mike a little bit, and KG was hyping him up. Cook that nigga. He was like, cook him, like can't do that with you. Like Michael Jordan who? And he was like, yo, chill. Like you gotta stop. Like
he was like, no, he don't. And Mike, he said Mike's sitting there with his hands on his hip looking at him. Mm-hmm. He said Mike started leaning back on that back foot, and the dude turned around and said, Mike, he a rook. He don't know. He don't know. Like, fuck that nigga. Mike's like, fuck me, right?
Mm-hmm. Watch this.
Mike starts shaking bait.
I think he had like 45 or something after that.
Bro.
Easy.
And then he was like, the kid, he was like, yo, my bad, OG. I ain't mean to put you in that.
I didn't mean to do that to you.
Right. And what was amazing is he had so many stories like that.
Yeah, it wasn't just a few stories.
Yeah,
it was a lot of stories.
Everybody
knew. Like when they played the Bullets, and that no-name rookie guy dropped like 35 on Mike or whatever the case may be.
It was 45, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't 45. I think it was
37.
It was 37.
37.
He dropped 37 in the whole game.
Mike up.
And then he made this up. He made up this scenario that the guy said, good game to him. Just to motivate him to kill this guy because they had to play him the next night.
Why good game makes you mad? It's like, bro,
because he cooked him. He's a rookie. He don't do that.
In his mind, that was the equivalent of you remember that Dave Chappelle where he was like, good game. smack dude on the ass.
Yeah.
Not with the team.
That was the equivalent of that, man. And then he was like he was telling people, he was like, I'm gonna have like he scored at halftime.
Bro, I'm not showing up to the game in front of that guy.
And that nigga had freaking 36. He was 1 point away from it at the half. I think he finished with like 50 or something like that.
Right.
Like,
And they said he was going straight at him.
Yeah, like
straight at
He was
him.
going right through his throat.
bro, that's what to me makes Jordan GOAT. Like
Yes.
to respond and be able to respond and turn on a switch. To be like, all right, you got that one. Next one, just cook you.
Right. There's no hesitation.
Like it's to me, it's never been like seen. Like Kobe was probably the closest one.
He was.
And to be like that, there was no other player that could just be like, all right, you scored 30 something on me, but I'm gonna do this. He tell you what to do.
Nah, but the one dude, I think, what was it?
Watch what I do to your boy.
I think it was
And then
Kenny,
you to your boy.
I think it was Kenny Smith, one of them, or one guy. He said he was talking junk to Jordan, and Jordan was counting backwards. Jordan said 40. 38, 35. And the dude was like, the dude said he didn't catch on to what Jordan was doing until he got to 25 points. He was like, oh, he counting backwards. He about to drop 40 on me. he counting backwards. Like every time Jordan knocked down a shot, he'll run up to him. 36. Like he just dropping he dropping, and it didn't dawn on him. He's like, this man about to drop 40. He said he ended up dropping 40 on me.
There was another story. Dominique Wilkins was saying they said they was in the locker room getting ready for the game. They said Michael Jordan came to the locker room smoking a cigar. He was like, Nick, who guard me? And he was like, I forget the dude's name. He was like, what you call a guard you tonight? He was like, tell him to lace him up. It's gonna be a long night.
Yo, that's good shit right there. Yo.
He dropped like 50, like 55 or something like
Yo,
that.
bro,
Like,
how you coming to my locker room talking
bro, that is like dope shit, bro. Like I've never like seen no shit like that. They come in the opposing team locker room, like who guard me? Like,
with the cigar.
cigar.
Smoking.
Before the game.
Blowing smoke in the locker room. Who guarded me? Oh, hell, Mike. Oh, yeah, I'm busting his ass. Basically, I'm busting his ass today.
I don't give a fuck with none of them.
Lace him up. It's going to be a long night.
There's no way that shit's not fucking intimidating. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Bro, like, the intimidating part is not what he said when he was in the locker room. The intimidating part is when he left and you that guy and people look at you like, so what you gonna do? Nigga, I'm gonna guard him, but you know in your mind, Mike about to bust my ass.
That's what hurts. That's what really hurts when everybody get quiet and there's nobody in the room that can be like, yo, bro, you all right, you got this.
No,
yeah,
we
got
your help.
We're gonna lock him
down. Everybody knew he did not got it.
He was all like,
it's like, bro, you okay today?
hey man,
Yeah, bro, this
you got it in before the game, right? Because you're not.
Your jumper nice, right? You at least got to score 25. Maybe look.
Bro, this documentary has like given me like a whole
perspective,
new respect for Michael Jordan.
But you know why he's the GOAT for me? Other than the court stuff, look at the shit he had to go through off the court, and I'm not even talking about the death of his dad. Imagine the only bit of alone time you have is in the comfort of your house. Like you can't go outside and do normal people stuff. Like Mike couldn't go to the mall to go look at sneakers. He don't have to.
Be a bombardment of people.
Yeah, leaving his hotel room is about at least 100 people at the elevator door waiting. He got to fight through just to get to his car. Wherever he going, got to deal with media.
You got to disappoint a lot of people.
Yeah, so you got to be okay with that.
You got to be that guy and be, disappointed.
Out of
200 you can't sign everybody autographs.
Out of 200
you
autographs.
can't take all these pictures. You got to just that's
you can't talk to everybody.
That's mentally draining.
You got to, and then on top of that, you got to go on the court and show up. Then when you leave the court, you got to go through the same routine just to get back into your alone time. Like a lot of people, like why, like Mike is so isolated. It's like, 'cause that's the only alone time he gets. Like Ron Harper wasn't getting all this attention. Scotty maybe not as much as Mike, but Scotty, Dennis, you know, from
Dennis
Dennis
got a lot
famous.
because of his
that nigga like
because of his
parties.
antics. Yeah, like
Not even that. That nigga, if you go to the bar with Dennis, Dennis won't know you, but he's buying you drinks all day.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, you know.
He is. They said my
He's a
man
fun
Dennis tab a night was over $5,000. Buying everybody drinks.
He don't give a fuck.
that's the guy you want to be around.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
shit,
like,
that's
I would
what
have a beer with him.
Yeah, I would too.
I would.
Listen to him go, please, Buck, did you do it this week? Mike shoot this week, please, fuck.
It's like what? It's like what do you talk about Dennis? What like Dennis? Like he just be.
I'd be like, whatever. Cheers.
Like, cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah, he
Like,
shot the ball right.
Like, yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Like,
I was thinking about getting my shit colored red.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kamikaze time.
all that shit.
Drink up, motherfucker.
That shit was funny.
Well, you mentioned the shit with his dad. I just wanted to touch base on that real quick because that was obviously a tough time
Oh yeah.
and a lot for him to deal with at that time. Just for him to like deal with that adversity and still win the championship.
But that's how much shows you he's the GOAT. And to touch back on that game when he did come back, I was a kid. I remember seeing that game. I was at home. I was watching the game, and Mike after the game, he's crying, and me, I just thought he was happy to win the game. I'm over my grandparents' house. We watching. I'm like, look, Mike. He won't. He's crying. I'm like, he's happy. And then like being an adult and watching a documentary, the game was on Father's Day.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, that's the first game, Mike, championship too, that his dad's not there for.
Right.
Every picture you see Mike win championship, his dad's next to him.
Right.
So that got to take a toll mentally. Then you got the media saying you're the reason your dad died because you're gambling. That got to take a toll.
That shit made absolutely
That
no
shit.
sense.
If I was Mike, I would have been pissed. Like, you blame me for my dad's death.
Yeah, but bro, that's the media's job. Their job is to take stories and make them more than what they are, twist words, do all this other shit. So that whole shit was just stupid. Like, anybody with common sense that would know that as much money as Michael Jordan makes, any gambling stuff he's doing is not going to affect him.
57,000 ain't gonna hurt him.
No.
Like my man said, 10,000 to Mike is $10 to Mike.
Right.
10,000 to us is $10,000.
Right. Gambling problem is all relative.
Yeah.
That shit is for regular people that sit there and blow their whole paycheck on gambling.
Let me tell you something. If I lose $20 at the slot machine, I'm pissed.
Right. What happens when you can't blow your paycheck?
That's niggas blowing
unlimited.
that's niggas blowing their rent money on gambling. That's when you have
That's the
gambling
real
issues.
problem. Right.
He blowing a month's sneaker deal money
Right.
probably on gambling. He probably didn't even touch his
Right.
NBA money.
Like
He's
that-
burning money that he don't even see.
He ain't
really.
You probably won't even think twice about.
No. So that's not a problem. That's a literal competitive habit. It's an expensive habit.
Yes.
But the documentary touched on this. It's like you're such a great player that they gotta find something that tear you down. But that wasn't just with Mike. That was just with a lot of greats.
Okay.
Like in all types of sports. Like
Especially-
you gotta be like, even when you squeaky clean, it's something that, like, against you.
They gotta dirty you somehow.
Yeah, somehow, like,
Somehow.
regardless of the fact. So that's another reason why I kind of respected Dennis Rodman, because he ain't caring about that shit. He ain't caring about what the media.
I mean,
said.
shit. Look where Dennis came from.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff he went through. I wouldn't care about that stuff either. Like, but all right. So, not to switch topics. What was your favorite memorable Michael Jordan moment?
Memorable Michael Jordan moment.
Me, it was the flu game. I remember watching that game as a kid, and
Just find out that he didn't really have the flu. I just found that out.
Right.
It was flu
So
poisoning.
this whole documentary kind of brought me back to that, but in a completely different way. Because now as an adult, I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that, I mean, you got to consider all the factors, right? He ate the pizza at 10 o'clock at night.
All of it. He's
All
the
the whole
one-
pizza,
only
right.
one that ate it.
And less than 4 hours later, he was hurling and curled up in a ball
All night.
So he didn't sleep, right? Didn't sleep. No drinks.
Mhm.
No nothing. No shoot around. basically bedridden all day until the actual game time shoot around. And not only does he have to play, but he plays the whole game. I think it was 44 out of a possible 48 minutes.
Yeah, 44 minutes, 48 minutes.
Something like that. And he finished with 38 points. Was it?
Yeah,
I think it was.
With the dub.
With the dub.
Yeah, it was 38. Yeah, I keep thinking 44 for some reason.
That was minutes.
That was a minute.
Okay, yeah,
there you go.
All right, yeah.
38 points, and I just remember thinking like that was amazing. But when it's the flu, you thought it was amazing. But now when you realize it was food poisoning, it's even more incredible because you realize how much of it was sheer willpower. They could not lose that game.
No, right. And the crazy, and not to cut you off, food poison. I had food poisoning before. You can't do nothing. It feels like a world of just a dark cloud of sickness is just on you. Yep. So imagine going out playing 44 minutes, running,
sprinting, getting pushed, getting shoved.
Imagine the back of his mind. He worried about shitting and throwing up on himself, but he's dropping 30-something points,
playing at maximum capacity, maximum speed,
guarding the best players,
making moves. I mean,
you tell a piece of shit for doing that too.
Yeah, that really pissed me off because it's like, come on, man.
You're trying to do everything to just win. Like that's some real proud, dirty shit.
But the testament to that willpower, you know what I mean? You have nothing in you. You have nothing except for your work ethic and your will. And for him, he was so skilled at that point that his will alone was enough to still make him the best player on the court, even at that level.
And you see him get emotional when he talks about it because that's what all he wanted out of his teammates. Yeah, is just to share the same passion as me.
Yeah, that was a real defining moment for me to witness. You know, for him.
I've never seen Mike.
I think I almost cried the first time I saw that because I couldn't just believe it emotionally.
Right, like it's just like, yo, this documentary was really like
it was
emotionally like attaching, like
yeah, especially episode what was it 6 and was it 6? No, it was 5 and 6, right, with his dad. Was it? Or was it 7 and 8 with his dad?
I think it was 7.
It was 7 and 8. That 7 and 8 were talk about
regardless of that fact,
and just talking about the, like you said, the competitiveness and what he wanted. Like that made me wanna go lace him up.
Yeah.
You know, I made me want to go lace him up because it's like, you know, here's a guy, like you said, he comes from, you know, the South, comes from the sticks. He's never been nowhere outside of that to becoming the greatest, arguably to some people's eyes, the greatest basketball player. There's no argument in mine, but some people,
that's it.
You know, he's the greatest basketball player.
People are delusional. So.
There was never a time where he wasn't great his whole career. I mean, he came back late. But I don't really count that. I'm just saying, like, in his private years, from start to finish, he was always Michael Jordan.
Always. Even when he retired to play baseball, a lot of people gave him shit for that. But for me, if you look at it, he's finally doing something he wanted to do. Because all his life he's been doing stuff that people want him to do, play basketball. He stuck with basketball.
Oh, he wanted to play basketball.
Well, no, I'm just saying he wanted to play baseball too, but basketball, but now he had to play baseball. It was something he wanted to do.
I think he did that after his dad passed because his dad passed.
Well, he was going to do that before his dad passed.
Which I didn't know.
No, I think he was going to stop playing.
But he was going to play baseball.
I don't know about the whole baseball thing.
He was going to play. He wanted to.
Had his dad probably not have passed and, he just retired or whatever the case may be, I don't know if he would have went the whole baseball route. I think he did that was like far as like a tribute to, his dad or whatever the case.
I feel like he would because it's something that he wanted to do. Imagine.
See, it was short lived.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing.
I think it might have been delayed if he didn't pass. If that didn't happen, he might have still done it.
Yeah, he would have done it.
But they had a good rhythm going. I don't know if he would have, but when something like that happens, it doesn't matter how sweet life is. It doesn't matter how many championship rings you have on. Like, tragedy's tragedy.
Yeah.
So like, once that happened, he was like, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, now's the time. Like, I was already tired before this. Now I gotta try more in my death of my dad.
Right.
and deal with all this
Because
crap.
people forget, Mike's been in the league. When he coming? You said 86,
84.
84. People forget about the 84. They only remember the championships. Like, Mike been in the league for a while.
Mhm.
So if you think about that, he probably, he said he was emotionally just tired.
Right.
You got to deal with, like you said, people all day. And don't get me wrong, he's done with basketball. He still has to deal with people. But he doesn't have to. Like, he has to deal with them, but he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. Now, when you're playing basketball, you have to, because that's where your money's coming from. You don't want to piss off the money. So
he just has to deal with people all day, every day.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
There's media
It's too
following.
much.
There's media following you everywhere. You going to practice, media's following you.
You're going to eat.
You going to eat, people's following
You're going
you.
to get some ass, media following. Where you going tonight, Mike? I'm like, what, man?
Can't
Mike
sneak
is-
out, can't sneak in.
Ain't no sneaking out.
Oh, they were doing plenty of that. There was another thing where they was talking about that. So, it was happening.
Oh yeah, yeah, true.
Yo, Mike, I ain't gonna lie. Mike was kind of. They said Mike was kind of a little snitch for saying that though. Man said he had the cocaine on the table and the women in the week.
Keep it
I
real.
mean, he
But the
wasn't
thing was,
lying, but
that was
No,
in the 80s. That was
that
the thing.
was-
That
that
was
was happening.
That just wasn't in the NBA. That was in the NFL. That was in a lot of places like with professional sports.
and I had no idea he smoked cigars so openly and frequently. I mean,
I didn't know
who
he
would
would
have thought?
I knew that. I knew that part because he always had a
I
cigar.
only see him have cigars when they won the championship.
Right. But I didn't think he was a recreational
smoker.
post-workout, post-game.
Yeah, well, with cigars, you don't inhale, so it's not like your lungs ain't taking the same punishment like you're
True.
smoking like tobacco,
True.
whatever the case may be. So,
Speaking of post-train, the Bad Boys, how they had to physically get ready for the.
Oh yeah.
That has to be one of my favorite memorable Michael Jordan moments. That, like I said, I wasn't alive for the 80s.
right.
I was born in 91. So hearing about going back and watching those and actually be like, wow, like, just think about, say if you're going to a competition, you have to train. You see your competition, and in your mind, you're like, okay, they're better than me. So what do I have to do to be better than them? And Mike knew he had to put on muscle to beat them.
Right.
And not just him, everybody. Imagine you trying to motivate 15 other guys to work out that don't want to work out. It's hard. It's a hard task.
That's just another.
It's another job within a job.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's another testament to his his greatness because they had Jordan rules. Like they had rules specifically for him.
Yeah.
Like every time you came in the paint, you had to put him on his ass.
Don't make him go left. Oh no, force him to go left.
Yeah.
Force him to go left. Like make him try to take like jump shots, tough shots. Like this is how great Michael Jordan was when the whole team has to come up with a defensive scheme that basically brutally beat you down and wear you down just to win. Like the Bad Boy Pistons, they were a great team. But they did some whole shit after they finally beat them and they walked off the court and they wanted to shake their hand. That's some whole shit. Like coming from a competitive standpoint, like regardless of the fact how much shit I might talk on the court, how much we might get into, whatever the case may be. If it's a professional game like that, you got to shake hands at the end. And that was something I was always taught, like as a kid. Like regardless of the fact, and it's been instances where we've almost gotten on fights on the court, but we still had to shake their hands or whatever the case may be. So.
Well, me, I always want to shake a person's hand, especially if I talk shit to them, because especially.
It's kind of hard to do that after you lost, though, especially after like a
Oh
deciding
yeah,
game like
I'm
that.
talking about the winning point.
Yeah.
I want to go shake the person's
Their
hand.
excuse was, Larry and them did that to them, when they beat
They had a valid argument because nobody said nothing when Larry and them did that to them.
True, but that doesn't make it right, though.
No, I'm saying it doesn't make it right, but nobody justified Larry. Nobody interviewed Larry and asked him. Larry was on the documentary. They didn't even ask Larry, hey, why'd y'all walk off the court? Larry probably because we lost. We were.
Nobody probably would have said nothing.
They probably wouldn't have, but they did it. It's a problem.
Yeah.
And not saying it's right, but you gotta call you. calling the tea kettle black. Like your boy Larry did it, and you coming at Isaiah. Right. Now, me personally, I felt like, and I'm a big Jordan fan, I felt like Mike had something to do with Isaiah not being on the dream team.
Well, they explained that.
They explained it, but Mike had something to do. Mike was the dream team.
I don't think so. Because it wasn't just him that was saying that he wasn't going to play. It was other players.
But if other players didn't want it, he still would have been there. But it's Mike. Mike is the trophy.
See, it's a difference if Mike is saying, "All right, I don't want to play." I don't think that's going to. That might have influenced Scotty not to play.
Right.
But the other guys, I don't think so. And I think Isaiah and them has built a reputation that kind of rubbed people the wrong way and didn't want people to play with him.
Brandon Ingram and James Harden fought, but Brandon Ingram was still part of All-Star games, holding hands.
They don't.
With James Harden.
But that's nothing.
But that's different.
That's different than the Olympics. The Olympics is like a hand-picked team,
and they were together all summer. And I don't know. I would have to agree in the sense that I think that.
There would have been a rift, and they probably wouldn't have played as well.
There would have been a rift,
knowing that there's a guy that they really don't want being there, and they really don't like. So I don't think Mike had. I think Mike just took the blame because he was the best player at the time.
Right.
So it was just like, hey,
he was a recent
point the blame at somebody. Like, hey,
he was the most recent one that the incident happened to.
Yeah.
About the walking off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's.
But I think that but to your point about who you want to be around, right? I wouldn't want to be around that, especially someone who, you're known for being borderline dirty players, arguably dirty players to begin with.
Right.
You guys are the dirty players, and they don't give. They're known as the bad boys. They embrace it. They don't give a fuck.
They're Oakland Raiders of basketball.
Right. Oh, maybe even higher than that because they literally didn't give a. You went to the basket. You're getting
you're getting.
They didn't care who you were.
They acquired guys from other teams just for them to give fouls to whoop people ass.
It breaks you down.
Rick Mahorn. Yeah. Right, Rick Mahorn couldn't score. But Rick Mahorn's damn near 7 foot, and he's a big body. So if Mike come into the lane, he's gonna put hands on Mike.
Right, and so he had to overcome quite a few mountains, but nobody wants to play really with people like that. Those people aren't fun to play with. Yes, it got the job done, they got their championships, but Isaiah seems to be a sweet man outside of basketball, which there's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, he's a cool
who are very nice off the court, but on the court, Reggie, another one.
I actually like Reggie.
Chris Paul, another one.
Yeah, he has a reputation for being like that.
But he was still in the
But he's stayed far. He's still
in the Olympic team though.
Well, on the court, people like him and Blake Griffin had some issues because that same reason.
Yeah, Chris Paul is kind of an a-hole on the court, but it's because of the same thing: high level demand, high expectations. He demands you to do your job and doesn't. He's not afraid to tell you.
Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
somebody has to.
Right.
Somebody has to be the bad guy for stuff to.
That was the thing Kobe was dealing with because he was trying to inherit that same type of mentality that Mike had.
Yep.
And trying to elevate guys into, being better players or better versions of themselves.
And it worked for him.
Yeah. Probing, pushing.
It worked for him in that era that he was in.
Yeah, but it also
caused
a risk, and it also caused, people not wanting to go to the Lakers and play because some people just wanted to be paid. Some people
Dwight Howard.
Sorry. Right.
Yeah, that was a reason for that.
Yeah.
For that issue because he saw more in Dwight Howard than Dwight Howard saw in himself and trying to motivate him and he took it the wrong way.
And Dwight Howard curled up into a ball and
some people can't take, like you said, some people can't. That's like I said, like back in the 90s, it was frowned upon to go to the team. So imagine, I'm trying to think of a player. Imagine a Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't go to the Lakers.
Right.
He went to the Magics, and he decided he wanted to come to the Bulls.
At the time, Shaq went there. They paid him the money he was looking for, but the Lakers didn't know what they really had with Kobe Bryant at the time.
No, I'm saying to the fact of the expectation.
Right.
Like, say if Shaq would have went to the Bulls with Michael and them. Michael seen Shaq play. That expectation, Mike said, I need that every game, plus more. Now, somebody like Shaq, he probably would have stepped up to the challenge. And then you have somebody like Dwight Howard.
Shaq had an ego.
Well, yeah, he wanted to be the man.
That was one of the reasons why him and the Lakers broke up with him and Kobe because Kobe was like, yo, like you doing all this stuff, you not getting in shape, like all this other stuff, like he was holding him to a certain accountability that he felt like he didn't need to be because I'm, 3-time champion, 3 times this blah blah blah, all the other stuff. So, just because you have like an extensive resume, you still got to put in the work to, continue to, add chips into your resume.
Absolutely.
Because, being big and strong like that is only going to be but so much before it starts taking a toll on your body.
Right.
Especially being at that size and doing all that running around and jumping and being at that weight. It wasn't going to be good in the long run. And you see how his career started to like deteriorate after he left LA.
When he started to become a journeyman, it was like,
yeah, that was the reason why. The writing was on the wall and people were trying to tell him, but you can't tell people sometimes with that big ego that, this is really what you need to do, especially coming from somebody that's younger than you and all this other shit. So
that pride.
Yeah, that pride always gets him.
So my favorite Jordan moment, to go back to what you asked earlier, was probably the shot against Utah.
Oh,
against what's his name?
Oh,
Brian Russell.
My man escorted him to his seat.
Yeah,
escorted my man to his seat.
Yeah, because this Jordan was just so locked in to just be able to time and time again hit those type of shots in those type of situations. Like even with the Pacers series, where made the shot and Larry Bird showed no emotion because he knows that there's time on the clock and that's cool.
Yo, his face, like he had the sick face. He was like,
bro, no emotion. Everyone around here is cheering. Yeah, he just sitting there straight face because he knows. And they got a look, and it almost went in. It was like 2 inches off.
Yeah, it was close.
It was just crazy. Like to be able to just to be able to just will that type of stuff. Like you're going up for a shot,
double clutch.
You're going up for a shot, leaning to the side,
double clutch.
You're double clutching, letting your opponent go by, still leaning to the side in the air, still shoot it, bank it off the backboard, and it almost goes in. It's like ridiculous, bro.
It really almost went in. I mean, it was in the inside of the rim and spun out. It actually spun out.
Which is crazy.
Which is just insane. Reggie Miller said he thought it was going in.
Yeah, he said it was under the basket. He's like, oh, it's going in.
Bro, I'm sorry. Like, there is like, so all those people that might think, somebody else is the GOAT or LeBron is I'm sorry, it's not.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's
Mike's resume and what he's done, like, on the court, like, it eclipses any other player.
Right. But it's okay.
And it's okay. Like, just accept it. Like, it's okay. Like, LeBron is a great player, don't get me wrong. He's very talented.
When people hear people say that, sensitive people, they automatically think people are saying LeBron sucks. And it's like, no, LeBron doesn't suck. But Jordan is better. Right. He was better.
Jordan still is. On a whole different level. Like, I'm sorry.
And it's okay. It's like people always feel like they need to validate, a certain figure from their generation. Like Kobe was my guy. You know what I mean? He's the closest thing to Jordan that we had, right? But he still was not Jordan. And that's okay. I'm okay with my favorite player being the closest thing to the GOAT.
And if LeBron is your favorite player, be okay with him having the 3 championships, that he was able to win because, it was looking like it was looking real slow. And you gotta
look at why Jordan, to me, I feel like is better. Jordan stayed with his team and won. LeBron didn't stay with Cleveland. LeBron left to win his first couple of rings, then came back.
Right.
So and
but,
then
putting all that aside, just the sure willpower to just win. Like when they was playing that series against the Suns, and it was like game 6, and he was like, "Listen, I'm only packing one suit because this shit ends tonight."
That's GOAT shit. What grown ass man said like, "Yo, I'm packing one suit. What y'all trying to do? We winning."
Yeah, and that's it.
And
then go out there and do it.
Go out there and win.
Like it's crazy, bro.
Crazy.
Like all these, I knew about a lot of these stories, but just the detail that this documentary goes in.
It was like word of mouth.
Yeah,
it was just like, it's like the myth, the legend, and to see it actually, Reggie Miller calling him saying
Black
Jordan,
cat,
Black
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He said like Jordan after the game said, "Don't ever trash talk Black Jesus."
Yeah.
And Reggie said, "That's the last time I called him Michael Jordan. I called him Black Jesus."
That's so real.
That's
you know
so
what I
real.
mean?
Like, for a grown ass man to sit there and be
Yeah,
like,
it's
"I'm
crazy.
calling this guy Black Jesus."
But it's crazy.
Real.
Like even with that story, like he was talking junk to Michael Jordan at exhibition game, whatever, and then I think he said he had what
36.
To Reggie's 12 points.
Right, in the first half.
in the first half.
Don't
Just
ever
to-
talk
yo,
to Black
just to
Jesus
be able
like
to
that.
turn on that switch, that he could just be coming to this game thinking, "I'm just chill. Well, I ain't gotta do too much just against this
And
team."
then somebody be like,
So-
oh, Mouse in the house? Oh, Mouse in the house. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
All
Turn
right.
on the switch.
Right.
You reach out, teach.
What was crazy is like he always had the switch on,
Yeah.
but he could turn on his additional switch.
He got a backup
Like,
generator.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like, he was always killing you, but he was always going at his own pace.
Yeah.
But if you pissed him off,
Mhm.
he'll just say, "Oh, I'm gonna go all full out right now." Like, "Oh, I was gonna make my push at the end of the third quarter."
And that's
but
what B.J. Armstrong said. He said when Mike played to win the game,
right,
made him unstoppable.
Right.
Because he said he let us have fun. But him, he was there to win.
right.
So
he's playing chess.
yeah, so for him, he's outdoing everybody while everybody is still doing one motion thing. He's already 10 steps ahead. And that he's a killer. Like that dude that every night he wanted, it don't matter. Him and Patrick Ewing were friends. Didn't matter. He wanted to kill Patrick. He wanted to kill Chuck.
Yep.
He wanted to kill all of them.
So I think that's the biggest takeaway is the willpower. The willpower
And
and
the crazy part
That's what
about it
makes
is
the
he said
difference.
he
Yeah.
would have retired earlier, but he wanted to have one up over Magic and Bird.
Yep.
Come on, bro. Yo, that is savage shit.
Because his
yo.
whole career, they were saying, "Oh, you good, but you're not gonna be as good
Either
as some
one.
guys."
And he surpassed them.
Yes. Like it's not like it's crazy.
So it's just yes. I'm very happy we got to watch it and
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. This
and, like,
documentary
relive it.
shined.
This
like,
documentary
golden
made
light.
me couldn't wait for Sundays.
yeah.
Like it was like
especially with no sports.
what it was like a crackhead trying to get that rock, man.
Right.
He was waiting.
Needed
for
something.
Sunday, waiting.
Something.
When 9 o'clock hit, don't talk to me. the show was on.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then what they did was so amazing. They just didn't leave you with one episode. They did back to back.
Back to back.
Because you couldn't just leave somebody with just one episode.
But bro, let's talk about the soundtrack though.
Oh,
for
yeah,
this-
it was
This
great.
soundtrack was dope.
Yeah.
Bro. Like,
Yeah.
it was everything like '90s.
Mhm.
In early, like they had
Yeah.
all the music
Perfect
that I
mixes.
remember. Like when I Ruled the World
Mhm.
by Nas and Lauryn Hill, like that, like listen to that soundtrack and then like this.
It just made you smile, man.
They had a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
all of
the
it.
original shit.
What is it? Special Ed.
Yeah.
I Got It Made. Like they like all of those songs captured the 90s
Yep.
for me. All of those, because I remember like, and it's just crazy. Like when I watched this documentary, stuff I forgot about started coming back to me.
Facts.
Cause like, oh, I remember that.
Mhm.
Or I remember that. Like I remember where I was when this
When it
happened.
Right.
So like you just remember that stuff, and you know me, I'm 28, so
Nostalgia.
seeing
Right.
that, it's like
It's pretty
yo,
dope.
it brought the kid out of me.
Right.
Like I felt like a big ass kid watching it.
Same. We're the same age, so I felt
Yeah.
the same way.
I felt like a big ass
And
kid.
you know, you're able to appreciate everything a little bit more now because you know you're an adult now,
Yeah.
as opposed to being a kid back then when all that stuff was happening. But you know, just to really appreciate his greatness, like now as an adult to watch this now, like
And for me, like I said, you know, I was a Bulls fan since I was a kid.
right.
So Mike meant a lot to me. You know, me being, you know, I played football, baseball, basketball, so I wanted to be like this guy. And me, Nas said it the best. It's the shoes. You gotta have to be like Mike. You gotta have the shoes. You know, which wasn't true because you was never gonna be like Mike with or without the fucking shoes. But you just want. It's just that thought, like, man, if I had them shoes, I could jump higher just like them.
It gave you that confidence.
Yeah.
Made you feel
To
like,
you know, be like
Everybody on
something
the
more.
court, they, you know, even me and my friends when we were younger, played basketball. I'm screaming, I'm Michael Jordan. Nobody wants to be Tony Kukoc. No disrespect to Tony Kukoc. But nobody's screaming, "Oh, I'm Tony Kukoc." Nah, everybody's screaming, "I'm Jordan."
Right.
You got a 5-on-5 with 10 niggas saying they're Jordan.
Right.
Jordan passes it to Jordan, back to Jordan. It's like nobody else wanted to be nobody but Jordan.
Yeah. Right. He was the best.
Nobody was as big as a name as Jordan in that whole era. That whole era.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He was the best,
You
man.
can probably still say that now.
Absolutely. His stuff still sells more than a lot of guys.
Bro, his
That's
shoes,
out now.
Shoes alone, like
Shoes cost a whole paycheck. A lot of people spending their whole paycheck for one pair of sneakers, waiting in line.
niggas used to really be out there camping, bro.
He got grown ass men outside fighting over shoes,
Killing over shoes.
starving over shoes.
I will say I won't agree with that though. It is never that deep.
Absolutely not. I'll just wait.
Like
I'll just wait
to take somebody like
because I had them already. I'll just
or
wait.
fight over a pair of shoes is just like ridiculous. That's the one thing. The one downside about that is when the shoes
but
is
the,
just
you know,
that
but it's a downside, but it also shows you how big and how iconic this guy was.
right.
Still to this day, he hasn't played. How long he about the league?
It's been 15, 16 years.
15, 16 years. He's still relevant.
So he's not even just relevant, he's still the most popular.
And nobody's waiting outside lines to buy LeBrons, Kyries. They're doing it for Jordan. I have not seen a line for KD's.
No.
Never. For Klay. I don't even know what the fuck Klay Thompson shoes are. I don't even know.
He saw some shit with China.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Right.
They look a little crazy. But
They are crazy.
You do what you gotta do at that time.
Right.
Steph Curry.
Spread up, bro.
For a while, Steph Curry was one of the hottest point guards in the league. His shit wasn't selling like Mike was.
Nobody's shit will.
It will
sell
never.
like Mike shit will.
Even Kobe's was the next popular, but Kobe's wasn't selling like Mike was.
But nothing will come close.
Mike
to
set the
Mike-
trend.
because there's people that don't even watch basketball.
That wear Jordans.
Yeah.
Because it became a fashion thing. That's what started the whole thing with like.
And they said that in the
now,
documentary.
like,
Like
as far
these,
as like with,
yeah.
even like guys like with shoes now, they wear some stuff with fashion. Like these are basketball shoes.
Yeah.
Regardless of what
Mike
people
was
might
scuffing these shoes up.
These are basketball shoes, and people are.
The sneakers dudes are paying $500,
And keep it
$700,
real, I never played no freaking ball in none of my retros.
No, I
I don't plan on to.
I don't play no ball or no Jordan.
These shits is strict.
But this guy was
yeah.
scuffing these shoes up every night.
You know, he get paralyzed.
No, I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
as normal people, we wouldn't dare.
Yeah, but
They
you also got to realize that these are shoes that were made for basketball. Regardless of the fact that these shits are looked at as style now, like you can still play ball in them. Like just people just don't do it or it's look frowned upon.
Yeah, because they're so expensive.
Yeah, that too.
You know?
That too.
Shoot.
All right. So is there anything else you guys want to cover? I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think we did a pretty extensive job. I'm trying to think if there's any. I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
did all the stories.
We didn't even start it off. Man, what time is it? Game time.
Woo!
Boys, hearing that? What?
One of my rec teams used to do that before the games, bro. I didn't know it was from that. I know, but then I realized my coach probably was a Bulls fan too, like everybody, and probably knew that shit.
I remember me and cause my dad's not into sports. Like my mom, she's into it. My mom plays sports. My dad's not into sports, so I will always watch sports with my grandpa. And my grandpa, the biggest Kobe Bryant fan ever. Like he's, my biggest Kobe Bryant fan, biggest Laker fan ever. Me and him are watching Michael Jordan. Our grandpa used to play ball back in the day, so he's teaching me the game while I'm watching basically the best player on the court playing the game. Just watching, like, that's what I'm saying, like watching this documentary brings back those memories. Watching that when they come through the tunnel, watching that what time is it game time, with the bark, like that chill goes up, like, cause it's game time.
Yeah.
Somebody about to get their ass bust on that court. Mike about to give somebody buckets, but it's the memories. For me, that's why this documentary is the best.
Yep.
Because it's the memories. Because you, like I said, you watch these documentaries and they take you back to a place you was, and it was a good place.
Yep.
And Mike like I said, Mike to me, Mike, like you said, Mike is Mike. Mike is the GOAT. To me, Mike will always be the GOAT.
Yeah, I don't see.
He will always be the GOAT.
I don't see anybody taking that time.
And I'm not saying that because I'm a Bulls fan. I'm saying that just being a basketball fan.
I'm saying it because it's true.
Well, yeah, it is true.
This one's true. Like anybody that knows basketball or really pays attention to it already knows it's already.
But I got a question for you though.
What's up?
How'd you feel when you seen Mike and Kobe interact? Because I know that got to be tough for you being a Kobe fan and watching that part.
It was a little tough. You know, I'm still kind of not really over it.
You
know, I seen that documentary. I'm like, this nigga, you know what I mean? Thinking he's still alive, and then you got to realize, you know.
When I seen it, I almost like it got. You know, I'm just like, damn, man, Kobe, like he's not here, and that's just to hear Kobe saying, you know,
there's supposed to be a documentary about Kobe, just like how this is.
Yeah, they gotta wait on it though.
Yeah, so
wait on it. Give me
that's
like 10
that's
years.
gonna be even more emotional. Like,
oh my god!
Yeah, I probably try to hold it.
It got emotional when he said when he said Mike. He said that's my big brother. I'm like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
You're like, damn, it really was like that.
Like that was his big brother. Like they used to call each other, talk to each other every day. Yeah. And it was love, like
he said it in the documentary. He's like, "What you get from me is from him."
Like you don't get 5 rings without him.
So stop trying to compare us and try to say who's better. Like no, I am because of. I am a student of. So I am not. I should not be compared to this because I am from the same tribe or the same school of training of thought of purpose.
And not to push the envelope, but you can even see it at Kobe's funeral how much Mike cared deeply. Right, that was his brother. Like that was somebody he took under his wing. That's the definition of that's my little man right there. I took Kobe under my wing and he blossomed.
Well, Kobe was like the son that he never really had.
Don't do that.
Jordan has sons and stuff, but Jordan one day. What Kobe was is what Jordan wanted his sons to be, and it didn't happen like that. So
it ain't never gonna happen like that.
No knock to them, but it's kind of hard to live up to that. Yeah, it's a big shoe to fill.
When your dad is the best player
to ever play,
and now y'all following his footsteps, and then people are poking you with a stick like, do something, do the 360s. I mean, I can't do that.
Right.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, he's the GOAT, bar none. Yeah. Period. But it's worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
And I'm prepared to argue anybody in the comments about
Absolutely, I'm prepared to argue.
So get your arguments ready.
Arguments ready. Add us.
I love arguing.
I will be ready.
Because I always bring the heat.
Always. And I'm bringing the facts too.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Make sure your numbers is right too.
Absolutely.
Because we read and check.
But hey, Chris, man, I want to thank you for coming through, and chopping up with us about this documentary,
Oh, absolutely. This was great, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me over.
Don't be no stranger, man. Anytime you want to come on, man, absolutely. Just come on the show.
If you want to talk about your personal training stuff, we do something about that.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Share some tips and tricks and theories and all of that, man. But yeah, this is great, man. You guys got a great thing going, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Anything else?
The Bulls are the best, man. Back in them days. Not now.
Not now.
We're still in rebuilding. We're still rebuilding.
Hey, man, every team goes through that.
Well, I mean, for 16 years, Jay, it's like, come on.
Yeah, some people, look at Sixers.
They'll always be that. The Bulls will always be, they'll still always be among the greatest dynasties.
Well, I do have a question.
What's up?
Before we leave, without Dennis, do you think the Bulls will win 3?
No.
More?
Mm-hmm. Nah.
Without the worm.
I think every piece was essential.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point.
Was essential to
because losing Horace Grant was a big chunk missing.
Yeah.
Because Horace was the enforcer, the rebounder, and Horace scored. That was another thing. Horace scored, but yeah, I don't think without Dennis they don't do that.
Well, a lot of pieces they don't win that championship.
It was perfect piece. Perfect.
There were some people they could plug and play, but for the main core, they needed those guys.
Yes.
They definitely
I agree with that.
Well, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Lit Logic episode 14, The Last Dance. You already know what to do. Like, share, comment, all that other good shit.
Yes.
So, until next time, this is Jay.
This is B.
This has been Lit Logic. Catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace, guys.